Yeah, Chandra is there. Okay, Chandra, you mind, Chandra, to share with them your
Yeah,
your
sure.
breakthrough testimony. I think that will be really great. While we give about 5 minutes to the rest of them, to come on board, that will be really good. Yeah, I was actually
Sure.
having a chat with Chandra just about a few days ago, and also Chandra, you can share about the achievement. I think that would be really good to recognize the winning team India, right? And
Yeah.
also, yeah, so I was having a chat, yeah, but I think I don't want to say anything. I want Chandra to, to share it, with each and every one of us. And thereafter, right, I think then I will then try to summarize it and then we will proceed with the presentation, okay? Okay, guys, use this time. Do invite as many people, okay? I think we will have about 5 minutes for the testimony. So I just want Chandra to share with us and then we will proceed. Chandra, please go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. John.
Yeah,
First of
speak a
all,
bit louder. Yeah.
yeah, am I audible?
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you, Dr. John. You are always awesome. First of all, I would like to thank God, and second, my thanks should be to Dr. John for considering me for this ARBCore project. So, what I wanted to share with the winning team global today is when we started this ARBCore project. Myself and Dr. John, we had a discussion about how we want to proceed with how to plan and how to lead the team and how to what are the good things to be done. Okay, in that the most priority thing was to live a debt-free life. That was the first goal which we decided. So as Dr. John advised and guided me, so I stick to that, and I can say I started this ARCore journey on now January 9th, and so it is almost 3 months now. I can proudly say, first of all, I would like to thank my all my Team India partners, leaders, who made this possible. Okay, in this 3 months of time, what personal achievement I can say, or the plan to live a debt-free life, that has been achieved. All my debts has been cleared. Say 80% of the debt has been cleared, which would have taken me if I'm a salaried person, job going person. Even today, I am working. Uh, if I had continued to work in my job and pay EMIs on monthly basis, it would have taken me almost 10 years, more than 10 years to clear my debts, which I have cleared just now in this 3 months of time. So instead of chasing behind the money, I stick to the advice and guidance which we all discussed. And so now I'm very living a peaceful life. Today, my thought process are clear. Financial freedom. This is the true financial freedom which I achieved. So that is my one of the experience, the most important experience I would consider. Because everybody's goal is to aim and goal is to live a financial freedom, but I can proudly say that I have achieved that within the 3 months of time with the help of our core. So that's what to say. That is one thing. And second, my achievement is as you all are aware, we are conducting a event, Platinum Achievers event in India, which is limited to 50 seats, means Platinum one day above. I started promoting the event 15 days before, and my team India is on fire, and they all closed the 50 slots within 15 days. Now we are overbooked. Now those people who are qualifying, achieving platinum ranks, we are telling them to wait for the next event. So that is the kind of our core project which is fired up with all the sides. So I'm happy. Again, I'm thankful to God first, then Dr. JD, the lad, everybody who made this journey possible. And my big shout out to my Team India leaders and our partners. No matter they come with $50 or $100, that doesn't matter, because we are focusing on people first, money later. So that's how the business model Team India is following, and it is working, making miracles, I can say, which even nobody, even myself, didn't anticipate or dream of it. So that's my experience. Hopefully, those who listen today might take it up and start moving towards that goal. So that will be great for us to hear like these testimonies in the future. So thank you all for giving this opportunity, and thank you, Dr. John. You are an awesome person and a wonderful mentor. So we are very thankful to be under your leadership, under your guidance. Thank you for that. Thank you, Doctor. Dr. John, you are on mute, I think.
All right. I think that is really great. One of the biggest, I think one of the most significant rewards of great leaders, right, is when our leaders or our team, right, begin to achieve a debt-free life. Yeah, I think as I mentioned to you guys, right, that is the greatest satisfaction or the greatest reward that actually I have, okay, with the team. It's not really about thank you so much, Chandra. Truly appreciate that. Okay, so you can see that. Guys. Please understand that our goal for 2026 is to live a debt-free life. Right now, the problem with so many people when they get into a lot of this kind of program is that they want to earn more and then they want to flex their status. They want to flex their lifestyle. Don't do that. All right, don't waste your time, guys. Okay, we have wasted our time for so many years. All right, in so many programs. Don't do that any longer. All right, don't do that. Some people say you have to fake it before you make it. That is the lie from the pit of hell. All right, don't ever fake it. Just be real. All right, because we got real company, real arbitrage, real trading. Why don't every one of you be real? All right, that's the most important thing, right? The company can be real, but sometimes we are not real, right? So now, when you hear this kind of testimony, right, I'm really overwhelmed with joy, all right, because just imagine, guys, 80% of the debt, these are the biggest debt of his life, right? He has already paid off. And he is only in this program for the past 3 months, right? So just imagine how much peace do you have, when you are able to pay off your debt. I think that is the biggest freedom, right? The biggest freedom you can ever actually enjoy. Okay, so this is the greatest testimonies that I want to hear more and more. That people will come on board and start to share, how they actually resolve their debt and now they are living a debt-free life. So that is our goal, right? From day one, I already mentioned, right? If you really want to become a winner and if you are part of the winning team global, then pay off your debt. Don't become a slave to the system of this world. All right. Don't become a slave to the banks. Okay. Don't let the bank to keep calling you, sending you message as though they are the king over your life. No, don't do that. Don't allow them to become the king over your life. You understand that? So you have to take control. You have to pay off your debt. So that is the goal. All right. That is the goal. Okay. Even if you don't pay 100%, can you pay 50% of all your biggest debt? Can you take away 80% of the biggest debt, right? That is the most important thing, because at the end of it, when you have paid off everything, you have no more commitment. All the earnings that is going to come to you now, you can use it to upgrade your life, your family life. You can even actually allocate fund for your children's educations and so on. Okay, so just take note of that. I think that is the biggest or the greatest satisfaction, okay, or greatest reward, that I have when I hear leaders and our people, right, our team, our partners, the winning team global, is able to do, right? That is great, awesome. While many people try to flex their lifestyle, they go and take more debt, right? Bad debt. Okay, when I talk about that, I'm talking about bad debt. Okay, they go and take more debt. Okay, they go and flex. Okay, their lifestyle and so on. You are just some of us, we just don't know what we are doing. We are probably too childish, right, for this kind of things. Okay, so be mature, right? Be mature. Look at the most important thing in your life and settle all your debt. Okay, that is the greatest things, guys. At the end of the year, right, in December, if there is anything that we want to celebrate, and if there's anything that we want to testify, I think this should be the greatest testimony, hearing so many of us, right, begin to, pay off their debt and so on, okay? So that is the most important thing, because once you pay off your debt, you have the peace of mind, right? You have the peace in your mind, your heart, you can do whatever you want to do with the earning that God is blessing you, okay? So that is I think, is a massive, it's a massive testimony, all right? Thank you so much, Chandra. And also I want to congratulate the winning team India for actually hitting the 2.5 million, all right? 2.5 million in the team sales volume, all right? That is massive, right? That is massive. And because of the strategy they have actually adopted, within the team India, I think they have probably close to 50 platinums at this moment. How many diamond we have, Chandra?
We have 4 royal, 4 diamond, and rest are platinum. So like more than 50 now. The count is like
Okay,
60
that is
odd
awesome. Can you
platinum.
just imagine, right? That is what leadership is all about, right? Leaders. Now, when you call yourself leaders, please understand, guys, leaders build leaders. Only leaders can appoint leaders, not the people. Only leaders can build leaders, okay? Not the people, okay? So that's why a lot of the leadership are shaken everywhere, because people who are not in leadership are trying to appoint leaders. It should be leaders who appoint leaders, because only great leaders know what is the appointment, what is the criteria requirement for great leaders, not the people. All right. So this is the problem in our society, in our community, right? So this is what we want. So if all the platinum raise gold, what happens, right? You're going to have a lot of golds. The more gold you have, the more platinum you have. And imagine if all the platinum, if all the diamonds starts to look for platinum and work with them and raise more platinum, what happened? We're going to have more platinum. More people will become diamond, right? And imagine if the royal starts to do the same thing. Now, this is how it works, guys. This is how the structure works. Look for 2 people. Work with them from bronze, make them to become silver to gold, and one day they become grand. What happens to you? When you raise others, you will be raised automatically. You don't need to worry about being at the top, because that is what you're supposed to be at the top. You pull the people you go to where they are and you pull them up with you, okay? That is great leaders, okay? Not waiting for spillover to take place. You don't wait. You create the spillover, right? That is what we are doing. So if all the leaders starts to, work on their level 1 and keep working on their level 1, just imagine what is going to be the spillover. It's going to be massive, guys. Everyone are going to enjoy the waterfall. It's just like a waterfall, right? The water shouldn't stop. The waterfall should continue. As it continues, everyone is going to be a winner along the structure. Okay, this is the true meaning of becoming a winner. Okay. And also, as I mentioned to you, right, we don't want only 1% or 10% at the top, telling that we already achieved. No, everybody, right? So just imagine if you have 50 platinums, you have diamonds, you have royal, and I believe they soon will have the grand too. We already have a few grand from the team, winning team Nigeria, right? We already have a few grand. I think we got 3 grand, if I'm not mistaken. We have a few royals over there too. So congratulations, guys. This is really overwhelming. When I hear you are ranking up, when I hear you pay off your debt, oh, this is just so joyful, right? So joyful. Because at the end of it, if you share with me, Dr. John, I bought another car and I took a loan, you are just still childish. You just don't know what you are doing. All right? Pay off your debt. Okay, pay off everything, and then don't ever depend on the bank. All right, you become the bank. All right, you become the bank. You finance your life. You finance your family. That should be our mindset. These are the winners' mindset. Okay, you become the bank. All right, so that is going to be awesome. All right, so congratulations. All right, congratulations to the team. Okay, all right. Thank you so much, team. I truly appreciate your presence here today. This is our commitment. Okay, every week. Okay, Monday is the business preview, which is conducted by the Winning Team Global. All right. I think we are the biggest ever English-speaking group. We have already probably in over 40 countries so far. So I really want to congratulate the team, the various team and all the leaders who are working together. And please understand, okay, when we say we are the highest contributing to the company's volume, that simply means that we are also the highest earner, okay, in the company, all right? The highest earner in the company. So that is really good, okay? So that's why, as I mentioned earlier, right? If we are the highest earner, we should be the first one who are paying off all the debts, all right? Pay off your debts, okay? Pay off everything and make sure by this year, right, you are free, all right? You are free. You are a winner, right? Winners are always, they are free, okay? So just take note of that. So what we're going to do today, basically, I want to go through the arbitrage model, and then I'm going to show to you on the transparency aspects of the arbitrage. And then I'm going to share with you the compensation plan or the types of incomes. All right. And then we're going to look, into different aspects, and then we will end the presentation today. Okay. So just take note of it. Okay. Now, first thing first, as you know, this is my most favorite subject, right? Which is the arbitrage. Okay. Now, as I always mention, if you are part of an arbitrage company, then you need to understand how that arbitrage actually works. Okay. Because different company, they may have a different arbitrage system. But over here for ARBCore, we have a synchronized arbitrage. Okay, you can either call this as a cross exchange or inter exchange, but it's basically the same. It is called a synchronized arbitrage, right? So that is important. Now, what is a synchronized arbitrage? Okay, now in ARBCore, synchronized arbitrage is a strategy where two trades are executed at the same time on two different exchanges to profit from temporary price differences of the same asset while minimizing the market risk, right? Now, the foundational strategy requires the arbitrage account to maintain balances across two exchanges. Now, these are very important, okay, because I want to relate this explanation with the partner's deposit. Okay, so when you deposit your money, right, as I always ask, right, in a lot of the presentation, right? Now, when you deposit your money, right, where does your money is actually sitting? Can somebody answer me? Is the money sitting in the owner's wallet or in the centralized entity, or is the money actually sitting in the exchanges? Can somebody put up in the chat room? Where does the money sit? All right, because this is important, right? So yes, you are right. It sits actually in the exchange, not the pool, okay? Not the pool, okay? It is in the exchange, okay? So please understand that, because the money first has to go to the exchanges, all right? Not in the pool yet, because the pool allocation not done yet. I will show you later how this whole thing works. So that is the most important thing. Now, some of you may be like, Dr. John, can you prove to us, why did you say that my money is now sitting in the exchanges, right? Now, let me prove to you, because this transparency, right, is going to be activated, or is going to be implemented very, very soon. So if you go to the back office, let me bring you to the back office while I'm doing the presentation, okay? So I'm going to relate all this presentation to the back office. So you have to be attentive, because I want to make sure every one of you are learning, all right? Every one of you are learning. Now, if you go to the pool here, right? If you go to the pool here, you can see, all right, this is very important, okay? This is very important. There are total currently 48 pools. That means we got 48 exchanges, okay? And if you look at the pool here, right, you see the pool number. We got the exchange KuCoin and BingX. Can you see that? And the total pool volume is $100,000. All right, so that means that $100,000, right? You are talking about two of the exchanges, right? Total is 100,000. So we have about 24 pair here, right? So you can times with 100,000, and more pools are going to be actually integrated, going to be deployed. More and more exchanges is going to be deployed as the deposit begin to grow. All right. So now when this pool is going to be implemented, if I'm not mistaken, all right, as the owner mentioned, sometime this week. All right, the first week of April, probably we will start to see. So you can click on the transaction ID here, right? Transaction check here. Can you see that? The transparency of your deposit. Okay, so at the moment, right, you see, this is still under they are tweaking all the data. So once it is ready, you will be able to see, okay, the detail where your deposit is actually sitting, right? Because at the moment, please understand, right? If you look into USDT over here, probably it's 50,000, right, for this pool. But if you only have $1,000 deposit, so how do you know in which pool is your $1,000 is sitting, right? You may not know. All right. So this page here going to be very critical, because then you will have the transparency to know exactly, right, where is this where is your deposit is actually sitting in which exchange. Is this awesome, guys? So this is a massive transparency, okay? A massive transparency that once this is open up, anyone who's depositing, they will know. So this is why I'm mentioning to you, right, that your fund is not sitting in the owner's wallet. Your fund is not sitting, okay, in the centralized entity, okay? Your fund is actually sitting in the exchanges. Now, I want to bring to your attention. Now, please understand, guys, if your deposit is sitting in multiple exchanges, that means it is a decentralized exchanges, right? Can you see that? It's a decentralized. Although we are using, centralized exchanges, but your funds are decentralized. So when your funds are decentralized, what happens? The risk is minimized, right? Can you see that? So just imagine, guys, this is a very important insight I want you to understand. But if all the fund is going into one wallet or one entity wallet, what happened? The risk is huge. If that owner or if that entity decide to rug pull, it will take all the money and just run away. But over here, right, it distributed into multiple exchanges. So this is a very important concept. So that's why the more exchanges we have, the better it is, because the fund is actually, decentralized into all these exchanges, right? So this is awesome, right? This is awesome because this reduces the risk, okay, even to the company. So just imagine, guys, if you only have 2 exchanges, you don't have, currently we got 48 exchanges. Just imagine the company already have 400 probably to 500 exchanges, and they are still identifying more and more exchanges, okay? So maybe some of you are quite blur, right, when I say exchanges, right? Now, do you know that if you go to your back office, there is exchanges here? Look at it, guys. These are the different exchanges that is already, all right, already available in the back office. So you can actually click, let's say if I want to click Solana, I can click Solana, and these are the exchanges that are already available. If you want to click Bitcoin, you can click Bitcoin, and you can see this is the difference or the spread. Can you see the difference or the spread? It is actually now running in real time. All right, real time. Okay, so please understand that. Okay, so this is all important information, and I want to relate, the back office, while I'm actually doing the presentation, so that you know the source of all this information. We are not here to create a hype. We are not here to create a story. We want to only give you the real data and the real information as we have from the company. Okay, so this is very important. So now, so as I mentioned to you guys, how does the synchronized arbitrage work? There must be two exchanges. All right. So in this example, you have exchange A. The pool is actually 50,000. I remember when I came in, the pool was actually less than 20,000. All right. But now because the amount of deposit is growing, so the company can actually scale, okay, the amount that amount to 50,000. Can you just imagine that? Okay. And then you have in another exchanges, you can see that we have the Solana, right? Solana, that is at this time it is around 475, but Solana price has gone down. So it is now probably about 600 or 600 plus Solana. Okay. So now you have 2 separate exchanges, and there is deposit sitting there, 50,000 in USDT, 50,000 worth in another crypto, in another asset. Now, please understand, guys, that the company is not swapping exchange A to exchange B. No, it doesn't work in that way. In synchronized arbitrage, your deposit or the capital actually stays in that exchange. So what does happen now is that there is a security board, right? A security board will check for the best offer. So it will check the price disparity, the order book between the 2 exchanges. So it continues to check for the best offer. based on the logic, based on the parameters, and if it identified, okay, based on the price requirement, I think it's around 0.25% every cycle, and then only it will actually execute the arbitrage. So that's how it works, okay? That's how it works. So when you execute the arbitrage, it will take the spread. The spread here is basically the profit between the order book, all right, between the price disparity, okay? So what happens now, only the profit is actually, only the profit actually distributed into the earning of the partners, not the deposit, okay? The capital or the deposit stays in the exchanges. So this is how a synchronized arbitrage works, right? Because the company cannot keep moving the deposit, because that can create an unnecessary red flag of money laundering and so on. So the exchanges who has the agreement for the API transactions and so on, they will not allow, okay, they will not allow the company or the institution to keep moving their capital, okay? So please understand that. So the only thing that they can move is actually the profit that is generated between the price disparity, of the two exchanges. So what happened now? On one exchanges, it will sell. On another exchanges, it will buy. Can you see that? Isn't that brilliant, right? So this is how a synchronized arbitrage actually works, right? So now let's look quickly into some of those advantages. Now, first is that please understand, we can actually enjoy a stable income. And also, as I mentioned to you, there is zero capital risk because our capital is actually sitting in the different exchanges. But also we have zero capital risk because please understand, this is not a directional trading. This is not a spot trading or futures trading. This is only a comparison of the order book, of the price differences or inefficiency between the two exchanges. So there is no risk to your capital. There is no risk of liquidation, okay? Because your capital is sitting in those exchanges. So I hope you understand now. And it is stable income because the returns are based on math and price differences, not the market volatility. Actually, right, if the exchanges that were selected by the board or by the security board is the correct exchanges based on the parameter, by right, when the market is more volatile, the spread is much bigger. All right, the spread can be much, much bigger. So that is the reason why, although the price is going down, but the spread is still bigger. The company is still able to generate significant profit. Okay, so that's the reason why we can actually continuously enjoy stable income, and we don't have to worry about liquidation and so on, because there is no such thing as liquidation here, because it is only comparing the order book, to look into the price inefficiency. So I hope this is clear, okay? So some people, right? Oh, Dr. John, where is the technical chart? I can't see any chart because we are not doing spots. We are not doing futures. All right. So we are only doing an arbitration, a comparison of the prices between two exchanges. So I hope you understand now. Okay. I'm going to bring you back later to explain to you about the real arbitrage, about the pull cycle and so on. So just hang on there. Okay. So I hope you guys are excited. Okay. I hope you guys are excited, and I want to make sure you guys are learning, because the whole idea of the business preview is to empower you, right? Is to empower you. So once you understand, a lot of your doubts, a lot of the questions or concern that you have, will be clear, right? So that is the most important thing. Now, next is that please understand, in synchronized arbitrage for ARBCore, it only execute qualified high probability arbitrage. Now, this is just spectacular, to see how the company has a security board, and this is where during the best offer, all right, during the best offer, the security board will basically, qualify only a high probability trade or arbitrage based on the rules, based on the strategy, based on the parameter. So that is the reason why, right? If you look into your arbitration page, you have the best offer. The best offer sometimes takes longer time, because it is keep looking for the best offer until the parameter and the rules meet. then only the arbitrage will be taking place. Okay, so that is the reason why you can see that most of our arbitration cycle, right? Most of the cycle is actually a profitable cycle because of these features that is in place. So it is a rule-based strategy, logic, and also conditions. Okay, so there is no emotions. Okay, there is no emotion. There is no such thing as the price is going up. The price is going down. We need to buy up. There's no such thing because there is no directional trading here. There is no emotions here. It is purely on mathematic or tactical strategy, right? Please understand that. Now, please understand that partners has the ability, right, to check 100% transparency of this arbitrage transaction ID, where you can actually check each of those transactions. All right, there is a full cycle activity and transaction is verifiable on chain. All right, so this is another important, significant aspect of the synchronized arbitrage that is provided by ARBCore. Now, the other thing is that it eliminates a critical price changes or double fees and so on. Why? Because it minimizes the movement of the fund. Can you see that? So that's why the longer actually that 50,000 or the capital or the deposit sits in that exchanges, the better it is. But sometimes, right, please understand, some exchanges, they can become unprofitable because of liquidities, because of market condition, and therefore sometimes the company, has to move that capital to another exchanges. Can you understand me? So as long as that exchanges has the liquidity, I think that is the best, right? Stay with that exchanges and, and milk the cow as much you can. Okay, please understand that. Okay, I hope you don't mind the terminology I'm using, right? Milk the cow as much you can, because some of these exchanges are cash cow, right? They are cash cow. So if they are cash cow, then we milk that cow as much we can, right? So that is basically I think the easiest way to help you understand the terminology, right? So it minimizes the fund movement, and therefore what happened? The spread is higher because now you're paying lesser fees, lesser fees, lesser spread, and all those things, right? So when the fees are smaller, what happened to the profit margin? Profit margin is actually greater, right? So that's the reason why we can actually earn greater return, and also our 250%, ROI can be achieved much, much faster as the company continue to improve the performance of this arbitrage bot. Okay, please understand that. Now, the other thing is that it is an instant settlement of profit. Now, please understand. Now, there is a full cycle. All right, the full cycle take place around 30 to 60 minutes. So there are 6 activity, right? About 6 activity in that full cycle. So if you are not aware of, don't worry about it. I will show you the detail. Later you can go and watch those video, the tutorial video that we have about the full cycle. Now, the 6 activities considered as one cycle. All right, one cycle. So one cycle will complete around 30 minutes to 60 minutes. So once the cycle complete, immediately your profit is already settled. So that means you can start to see the profit in your earn, all right? In your back office, you can start to see your profit. Now, can you just imagine when you deposit, all right, the next 30 to 60 minutes, your deposit is already, all right, is already deployed into the pool. Can you see that? It's already deployed into the pool. And the next probably 30 to 60 minutes, you already start to earn. Wow, can you just imagine how fast your money is actually working for you, right? This is brilliant. Now, why I'm saying this, because please understand, if your deposit is sitting in the centralized exchanges, in the centralized wallet, or in the owner's wallet, how can your deposit actually working for you within the next 30 to 60 minutes? Can you see that? Unless your deposit is sitting in the exchanges, because that is where the arbitration is taking place. Okay, so I hope you can connect all these dots. Okay, so this is important for you to understand. And last but not least, scalable and sustainable. One of the greatest, or one of the significant requirement of arbitrage, right, is the capital. All right, so capital is actually one of the biggest requirement. So you can see, right, maximum in one exchange is 50,000. So if you want to have more and more exchanges, more and more pool, then you need more and more deposit. Can you see? So that's how This is how the company capitalized on the deposit. So the more the deposit, the more the exchanges can be opened up, can be deployed, the more pool can be deployed. And also, please don't forget, we can also deploy more assets. So currently we have about 6 assets, right? We have the Bitcoin, we have USDT, we got Ethereum, we got BNB, we got Polygon, Matic, right? So can you see all these are scalability? So the more the asset, the more the pool, the more the exchanges is going to be awesome, right? Because this also determines the sustainability of the company. So if the company can scale up faster and faster, they can actually deliver the 250% faster and faster. All right, because one of the biggest mode of revenue, right? Revenue generation model of the company here is actually the capital, right? So if the sooner they can deliver the 250%, the sooner the company can retain the capital and they can start to scale up, right? So this is the most important thing, right? So I hope now you understand. Why am I taking a length of time to explain? Because synchronized arbitrage is the heartbeat of ARBCore. Everything else is actually dependent on this heart, okay? So the only way this heart can pump is when there is more and more deposit coming in, because that deposit is the blood to the whole organ of the body, all right? So if the heart is active, the heart is performing well, then every one of us is going to earn well, okay? So that is the reason why we believe that ARBCore performance, right, defies logic. All right, when you can earn 250% in the next 5 to 6 months, can you just imagine? And if you can earn 250%, example Bitcoin, in 2 to 3 months you can get back your 250%. That defies logic, guys. No one believes that this is ever possible. But if you listen to me today, now you understand why it is possible. All right. So that is the reason why. Okay, that is the reason why we can agree together that ARBCore has real arbitrage, real transparency, real result. And not only that, they have real winners, right? So that's why in the winning team global, every one of us who are part of ARBCore are real winners. Okay, so you should congratulate yourself. Put up there some emojis, all right, in the chat, okay? And congratulate yourself for being part of the winning team global, because over here, every one of us is a winner. All right. So God bless each and every one of you. Now, I want you to watch this intro video quickly, because it summarizes everything that I say. And then after, you can share this video, all right, with your prospects and so on.
The world of cryptocurrencies is speed, volatility, and uncertainty. But what if there were a way to generate stable income regardless of market movements? ARBCore is a fintech company specializing in quantitative arbitrage trading technologies. We capitalize on price differences across leading exchanges by executing simultaneous buy and sell orders. Our core principle is transparency. Every trade is visible through our public API. You see the price, volume, and result in real time. All transactions are recorded on the blockchain. You don't trust us, you trust the code, open data, and official blockchains. The result? Stable returns starting from 0.1% per trade. The trading smart contract automatically sends your spread directly to your personal wallet, up to 33% per month. This is a systematic approach where risks are reduced to zero. Full legal compliance. An invoice confirms your investment. We are a regulated cryptocurrency exchange company. Your data and assets are protected by a multi-layer security system. But ARBCore is more than just arbitrage. It's a powerful partner ecosystem. Earn up to 10% of your network's income, cashback, and rapid career growth. We've built the ideal model for leaders. ARBCore, open arbitrage, guaranteed profit, unlimited network growth. We don't follow the market, we create our own. Join the leader. Leverage ARBCore's opportunities and unlock your full potential. ARBCore, open, transparent, stable.
The reason why ARBCore is able to deliver significant result, because they control the market. The market is not controlling them. All right. So that is the reason why any traders, okay, who controls the market, they are always a successful trader. But when the market controls you and you don't know what to do, that is where you start to lose. Okay, so that's the reason why we are all winners here, right? Because ARBCore controls the market. Okay, the arbitrage system actually controls the market, right? Okay, now let's move on. Now, this is going to be exciting, right? Because we're going to look at the 100% transparency, okay? 100% transparency of the real arbitrage transaction. And also you can verify this transaction on chain, okay? And I've done a lot of the validation from time to time. You can refer to those videos. But I want to go through quickly and show you, right, where you can see this real arbitrage, right? And what is those pull cycles that is involved. All right, so I think that will be very critical. Okay, now you can see the image here. This is actually taken from the back office arbitration page. This is where you can see the live arbitrage. All right, the live arbitrage. Now, if you look at here now, right, receiving, right, receiving. This is actually the last step in the pool activity, receiving. All right, so you can see there is a profit here of 132. And that profit now will be received, mean it is now been distributed into the different wallet within that pool, okay, into the different wallet of the partners within that pool, okay, so take note of that. So now if you look at the pool cycles, right, so you can see, right, we have the pool cycles activity. So we got the pool creation. So now, please, guys, when you have the time, right, let me just bring you to the back office very, very quickly. This is important. So if you have time, click the arbitration, all right, and then just spend, okay, just spend some time, watch what is happening in this arbitration, pool activity. So you can see now is actually best offer, right? So that's why I told you, right? Best offer is the most important pool activity because this is where the security board actually, determines or qualified, before the arbitration actually take place, okay? So this is where it plays a very significant role. So sometimes you may see the best offer takes a longer time because it is still, if it doesn't meet the rule, if it doesn't meet the parameter, it will not proceed with the arbitration, all right? I hope that is clear. So you can, if you have time, okay, at least 30 minutes to 60 minutes, just watch what happens here, all right, with regards, okay, to my slide, okay, with regard to my presentation, okay? So you can see the first thing that happens here is the pool creation. So this is where the fund allocation and the pool setup will take place. So now when your fund is sitting in the exchanges, then only it can actually allocate into the pool. So that's why the deposit will have to go straight into the exchanges. It cannot be sitting in another person's wallet. Okay, I hope that is clear. So once the pool is created, and also the pool creation is 50-50. That means that 50% is company's deposit and 50% is partner's deposit. All right, it is always, please understand that it is a profit sharing base. All right, and because of that, the model is created in such a way where 50-50 of the fund will be allocated, okay? And then it proceeds to the best offer. It will scan for price discrepancy. Can you see that? So this is where the security board will scan, will qualify whether it meets the price discrepancy. If it doesn't meet, it won't send, it won't deploy the capital yet. Now, this is very important, okay? Please understand, a lot of the arbitrage that you see outside there, they don't have a screening. They don't have a qualification board. They straight away send the capital of the partners and then they lose everything. Why do they do that? All right, because they don't have a security board in place that actually screen for the best offer. But over here, right, it actually screen for the best offer, qualified based on all the parameters, then only the capital will be deployed, or else the capital will not be deployed. So that is the reason why our capital, okay, that is sitting in the exchanges are safe, okay, risk-free, because our capital is only deployed when the high probability trade is actually qualified and identified by the board. Isn't that awesome, guys? So once the best offer is identified, then it will send, okay, it will deploy the capital to the pool, okay, and thereafter the arbitrage or the exchange operation will take place. All right, and then you can see the profit will be realized and record will be gained, and thereafter you see receiving, right? As I mentioned to you, this is receiving, is a last process. This is where the profit will be settled, and then the pool will be rebalanced or recalibrated, and then the pool creation will start again. Now, this is what we call one cycle. All right. So when you hear pool cycle, please understand, okay, this one cycle will take around 30 to 60 minutes. All right. And it also depend, okay, how fast the pool complete depend on the network speed, the liquidity, the market conditions, and so on. So now the question is that once this pool is completed, where can you see the history of all the pool transaction? Over here, right? You can see under the transaction history, if you click the arbitrage, you can see this is the pool that is already completed. You see that? So you can see, example over here, buy and sell completed. It will be here. So you can see the transaction details there. So if you scroll up, you can see that another pool is completed. Now, guys, can you just imagine if one pool, all right, if one pool completes, it delivers around 0.2225% profit, all right? It takes about 4 pools for the company to actually deliver 1%. If the company can do 8 pools a day, that is already 2%, all right? So can you see? So the more number of pool revolution that the company can do, and the more improve the performance of the arbitrage board, and the more cycle it can actually execute, the more the profit will be. Okay, so that's how it's basically work, right? So now there is a pool cycle activity YouTube I've already done. All right, so please make sure if you are part of the Winning Team Global, get your upline to share with you the resource hub, because all the videos, the important videos that you need for the onboarding, it is already there in the resource hub. Okay, please refer to those videos. So now, please understand, okay, partners have full visualization of the overall arbitrage pool activities between two exchanges and their actual spread. Okay, everything is shown, guys. There is nothing to hide here. Okay, you can even click the transaction, the transaction ID to check on those things. Okay, but you need to learn what you are checking, right? Or else you don't know what you are checking, right? And the other thing is that partners have full access to the on-chain real-time transaction to validate the legitimacy of each of those transactions. So it is always good. Go through the resource hub, because I have done the validation. You will be able to learn how you can actually check those transactions and so on. Okay, so I hope you guys are happy, okay, with this information, because I believe this is the heartbeat, guys. If you can understand the heartbeat, everything else is simple. All right, because I see a lot of people are reviewing about a company. The reason they are reviewing in certain manner because they don't really understand how the pool cycle and arbitrage actually work. All right, so that's the problem. So because of that, their review can be misleading, and they try to mislead everybody else, and then people are listening to these people, and they are getting a lot of subscribers, and they are very happy about it. But why don't go and watch the real arbitrage and how that arbitrage works, and understand everything within the pool cycle before you even actually make a decision to become part of ARBCore, right? So this is very, very important. Now, let's move on to the next. This is my most favorite. I call this a regulatory grade transparency. Now, as you all are aware, right, the company has actually implemented in the back office, right? You can see this, the back office, and we have the pools, the report, the streaming, all contracts, and my contract, right? So these are new information, new features that the company has actually added. So now, this is very important for ensuring regulatory grade transparency. Now, as I mentioned to you, right, the first thing we have is the pool. So this is coming soon, all right? So where you can actually identify and track your deposits. Awesome, right? Next, we have the report. Okay, this is awesome, guys. The report is live, all right? You can go and check the report. Okay, in the report, we have the balance, the earn, the partners' income, ARBCore income, marketing, processing, payment that is done, to the marketing, to the networks, and so on. How much is this still processing? What is the remaining? All the info is there. So if I bring you to the back office, all right, let's check the real. So you see that under the report here, you can actually check. So it is updated up to yesterday, right? 29. So total balance, okay, this is the total volume of the deposit, 13 over millions, guys, and our community in ARBCore already earned up to 10.6 million. Wow. You should congratulate the company, right? Because they are able to deliver. So this is the real earn that has been delivered, okay, to our global partners. So here you can see the total volume, all right, the income, partners income, ARBCore income. Okay, can you see ARBCore income from where? From the auto earn. Okay, so watch the resource hub. There is a video on the auto earn. Go and learn why the company has an auto earn. All right, where the first 14 hours, 100% of the profit comes to the partner, and the remaining 10 hours, 100% of the profit goes to the company. So why the company has this strategy, this business model in place? All right, so this is one way, right? The company is earning, because from that earning, the company can pay the marketing cost, right? All the network income, the 10% commission, the 5%, and so on. Can you imagine how brilliant this whole thing is, guys? All right. And then we have the amount that is processing and also the remaining. So the report is already there, all right? The report is already there. So then, okay, we have, let me go back to the slide. I hope you guys are excited today, okay? I hope you are learning, all right? So we just don't want, to just push you the marketing plan and then ask you to come and join us. No. Today's session, we want to make sure in every business preview, you are learning. You are empowered so that you can then make an informed decision, all right? So that is my role here, okay? That is my role here. Now, next is we have the streaming, all right? The streaming is also coming soon. This is going to be really awesome. And you can see in the real time, all right, the demonstration, of the real arbitrage that is taking place in the exchanges, right? So if you go to the back office again, all right, you click under the streaming. So here you can see, as I mentioned to you, right, this is coming soon. So if you click any of these, it will show you the feature will be available soon. So if anyone trying to review, I think they are doing something that is completely misleading, because there is nothing to review here yet. It is not live yet, all right? So please be very clear, okay? Because there is a lot of reviews going on about all these things. But let me tell you something, guys. Once this is live, and if you can see exactly the arbitrage that is taking place in that exchanges, that is it, hands down. All right, hands down, guys, because there is no one or no company provides such a transparency. This could be the first ever, right, on the planet Earth, a company that is willing to go to this extent to provide what I call a regulatory grade transparency. All right, this is going to be awesome, okay? So let's await, okay, for this streaming to be opened up very, very soon, okay? Now, next, as I mentioned to you, you can also see all contract, okay, and also the my contract. Now, all contract is the total deposit volume, okay, that has come into the company. Can you see that? So at the moment, the live data there, right? Let me bring you to the back office again. So you can see all contracts. So currently, right, about 13.1 million, all right, total volume. And you can see there are total contracts about 23,000 contract, and we have about 143,000 invoices. So these are the live, okay, the live deposit that is coming in. And over here, we have the volume of the closed contract. So I believe soon, probably next month onwards, we will also see the number of contract closed, the number of invoices closed, and so on, because I think the first batch most probably are already seeing their contract being closed. Okay, isn't that awesome, right? So this is going to be amazing, guys. And apart from that, this is the company, right? So companies are all contract. We can also see your individual contract, my contract. So when you click my contract, you can see, for example, like my account here, I have 123,000 worth of contract. All right. So I got USDT over here, 10,000. I have Bitcoin, probably about 1.536 Bitcoin. So you can click, right? You can click each of these drop down and you can actually see your total contract. So no matter what asset you have, everything will be actually been converted or equalized to the USDT value. Okay. So just take note of that. Okay. So I hope, all right, I hope this information is helpful. All right, so that you can understand the transparency, the transparency that the company is actually providing to the global partners, right? Now, so as I share all this information, right, by now you are excited. How can I get involved? What is the profit, all right, that is being generated and so on? Let me just give you some idea, all right? And as I mentioned to you, now we got two separate programs. We got the Up is the standard program, all right? And then we have the Up Pro, which is basically for the VIP or the premium, okay? So now for the Up, okay, this is based on USDT, okay? I'm going to just do USDT because the rest of it, I think the result is much greater than USDT. So this is the minimum, right? This is the minimum. Now, the profit, okay, starts from 1.07%. So this is the daily net spread for the Up standard. But if the Up Pro, I think it is daily net spread, probably from 2% onwards, okay? So make sure, right? Make sure as I'm speaking to you here, you can check at the back of it under the profitability percentage, the actual profitability. Can you see that? For Tether, the Up is now 1.22%, and for the Pro is 2.26%. Can you see that? All right. So this is a real time, and these numbers may be changed. Okay. So this is an indicative for you. So if you want to know where to find this information, is actually under the profitability percentage in your back office. Right. Okay. So that is the daily spread, okay? The daily spread or your profit or daily profit from 1.07%. Not like many company up to 1%, right? Up to, right? We got no up to here, guys. It's a real arbitrage trading. It is from 1.07%. So for the Up standard, the minimum deposit is $50. But if you want to be part of the Up Pro, the minimum deposit is $100,000. All right. So later I will share the other assets under the Up Pro, and I will explain to you about the Up Pro. So those of you who are basically high volume client, right, or high volume partners, you are basically a premium partners, you got high capital, then you may want to consider the Up Pro, right? So minimum auto withdrawal is $10. And please understand, for the arbitrage return, it is all governed by the smart contract. So it is an auto withdrawal. So you just have to set up your withdrawal, your personal wallet address. And once you set up your wallet address, everything is done automatically. You don't have to be submitting your withdrawal every single day. So anytime, the bot recognizes there is $10 or more, normally it will take 24 hours from the time your pool is activated. All right. So please take note of that. So once it recognizes you have $10 or more, your $10 or more will be actually sent automatically to your personal wallet. Isn't that awesome, right? So this is just cool because everything is run through the smart contract. All right. So please take note of that. All right. Now, the next important thing, the aspects of legality. Okay, legality. Okay, so there is invoices, there is a contract here. Okay, so every single deposit comes with the invoices. Please take note of that. Okay, so your invoices basically carry a 250% obligation for each of those deposits or the contract. Right now, I want to explain a little bit more about the 250% because I want to make sure that everyone understand. This is your passive income, right? 250%. So as I mentioned to you, this is the sample of the commercial invoice. So you will be able to find this invoice in your back office. Okay. Now, when we talk about the 250%, please understand that it is your capital and your net profit. So every single contract, it is capped at 250%. All right. It is basically your capital plus your profit. Okay, please understand that. Now, for example, right, if you invest $1,000, all right, you will earn $2,500. That is your 250% ROI. So the lead time may be different from one asset to another, but the maximum that you will earn or the cap is 250%. Okay, so I hope this is clear. All right, this is clear. Now, let me explain a few more things just to, give you a clarity about the 250%. Number one, now company prioritize to deliver 250% contract obligation soon as possible. So that's the reason why, right? You may see that sometimes the company say from 1.07%, it can be 1.2, 1.3, it can even be sometimes 1.5. Why the company is doing that? Because the sooner The whole idea is that they want to prioritize to deliver this obligation soon as possible. All right? Why? The sooner they pay your capital and your net profit, what happens to the capital? The capital is retained by the company, right? So now the company can deploy the capital and scale up their operation. Isn't that amazing, right? Now, please understand, guys, while other companies try to delay your return and make it 10 months or 15 months or 20 months, ARBCore approach is opposite. They want to deliver the 250% soon as possible. So now you decide, put in the chat room, which company you want to be part. Company that purposely delay you and tell you up to 1% and then give you 0.5, 0.4, 0.2, and then they blame the market for it, whereby they are not efficient at all. Or you want to be part of ARBCore that can deliver soon as possible. Please put up that in the chat room. All right? Please put up that. Now, next is that the 200% is purely from arbitrage profit. Exclude any network bonuses or commission. Wow. Have you ever seen, guys, a lot of the program today, right? They lump sum even the network commissions and everything into the passive income. And then the networker have to continuously, right, multiple times have to renew his or her contract. It doesn't happen here. All right, it doesn't happen here. Why? Because of the real arbitrage trading. All right. So now this is a huge financial benefit to networkers who are building diligently, guys. Congratulations to you. If you are a networker, if you are a builder, guys, this is the company that you have been searching for years. Welcome to ARBCore. All right. Welcome to ARBCore. Right. Can you see how the company honor you and gives you purely 250% from the arbitrage for your own deposit while you are earning an additional income from your network? All those bonuses and commission, those are additional. That is going to be a massive financial breakthrough that you're going to enjoy here with ARBCore. All right. All right. Now, the other thing is that zero withdrawal fees. That's why I put the word net profit, because there is no withdrawal fee. So when the company pays you, automatically sent to your personal wallet, 100% of the profit is given to you. All right, there is no withdrawal fees. Why the company do that? Please understand, this is a deliberate strategy to prioritize the partner satisfaction, right? These are deliberate, guys. Why? Because the company want to speed up the 250% obligation. If they keep deducting the withdrawals and so on, it will take a long time for the ROI to be delivered, right? So now, this is just amazing, right? Because the company deliberately, deployed this strategy to prioritize partner satisfaction, okay? So I think this is a very important insight for every one of you. So that's the reason why I decided, okay, all right, to dedicate a slide for this so that everyone understand, what happens to that 250%. I hope you are blessed, guys. I hope you are blessed with all this insight and information, okay, so far. All right, so we have already talked about the passive income, all right? So now let's go into the active income. So if you decided that, oh, I want to go and build, I also want to go and share this information with my friend, awesome. So what are you going to enjoy if you do that? The first thing first is that your direct bonus. These are your personal bonus, okay? Your direct bonus is 5%. So anyone that you introduce directly with your referral link, all right, these are your personal partners and you will enjoy 5% of their deposit. So if they deposit $1,000, you will instantly receive 5%, which is $50. Isn't that awesome? Can you withdraw that $50? Yes. Minimum withdrawal is $10. So if you wish to withdraw, you can withdraw. Please understand the active income, you can submit the withdrawal manually. All right. You can submit manually. Okay. So please take note of that. Now, the second active income is 10% of your network income. Now, this is going to be massive. All right. This is one of the biggest or the massive income, any one of us can enjoy in ARBCore program. All right. So this is basically based on the 2x2 structure or the matrix that we have already in place. Okay. Now, please understand that, guys, if you have a network volume, it can be your direct, It can even be the spillover that is coming from your hierarchy. You will enjoy 10% of your network income. Now, this is going to be massive, all right? Massive, because all the volume that is going to all this volume that is going to rain down in your structure, and all this volume are going to be traded, right? It's going through the arbitrage trading. From the arbitrage trading profit, you're going to enjoy 10% network income, all right? So I will explain to you more about this as we move on, all right, so that you understand how this residual 10% income actually works, okay? And please understand that for you to qualify for the 10% network income, you have to fulfill the ranking table, the ranking requirement. All right, so this is where we have the 2x2 matrix system and the spillover. So once you understand how this ranking table works, you can then start to build. If you look at the rank, we have the bronze, the silver, the gold, all the way to infinity. Okay, so now, if you're coming on board, right, the first thing that you might want to work on is to achieving the bronze. Now, once you become a bronze, you will then unlock level 1 to 3. All right, level 1 to 3. So that simply means that anyone who spill over in your level 1 to 3, you are qualified to enjoy 10% commission from that network profit. Wow, that is going to be exciting, right? So how do you qualify to become a bronze? Simple. Your personal deposit, this is your own deposit, must be $250. And the total volume of your personal partners, these are your direct. All right? These are your direct that they sign up using your referral link. So in this example, you need a minimum of 2 direct. That's all. Because this is a 2x2 system. So can you see how simple it is, guys? Every one of us have more than 2 friends, right? All you need is 2 all the way to infinity. All right? Isn't that requirement, make things easier, right? For leaders like us, right? Now, if you bring in 2%, right? 2% in your matrix, all right, what happens? If this person put 250, you now got 500. So you become a bronze. Congratulations. Now, if let's say you have 5 people directly under you and everybody put $100, total is how much? 500. So you are still qualified to become a bronze. Now, let's say, right, you are a networker and now you got 10 people. The first week you got 10 people and everybody comes in with a minimum of $50. You still got 500, right? You are qualified to become a bronze, okay? So I hope you understand now. So if you look into the maximum partners here, because it is 3 level, right? So level 1 can only be 2, level 2 will be 4, and level 3 will be 8. So total is how many partners? 14 partners. So you will enjoy 10% commission from the volume, all right? From the profit volume of that 14 partners. Isn't that awesome, all right? So now, as your structure volume begin to grow, all right? As it begin to grow, you will start to see the spillover to level 4, to level 5, level 6, and so on, right? So what you need to do, you can continue to rank up. All right, continue to rank up until you hit the grand. Okay, because the maximum is 21 level. All right, you can rank up all the way to grand. And please understand that as you rank up, you also unlock the maximum withdrawal limit for every 24 hours. So there is a maximum withdrawal limit. This limit is important in order to protect the company's cash flow. And also it is important so that no networker, right, manipulate, these systems and so on, okay? So just take note, okay? So this is a very significant information. So if you're a networker, please, okay, get to your upline and understand first how the 2x2 matrix works. Or please get back to the resource hub link and watch the video, all right, how the 2x2 matrix works before you start to build your team, all right? I hope this is helpful. Now, we are not going to stop there, guys. There is one more income, right? And that is basically the 2% cashback, all right? So this is a financial reward that the company is rewarding the builders. So if you are building your team, your structure is growing, what happens now? You are going to enjoy 2% of your network volume. All right, so this is your network volume. So for example, let's say, right, if you're a bronze and then you see that you have your network volume 1,000, right? In your network volume, you will get 2%, which is $20. Now, as your network volume grows, probably you will hit 2,500, right? Next. So you will get a total of 50. But please understand your cashback will be the difference, which is $30. All right. So 50 minus 20, you get $30. So 30 plus 20 total is how much? $50. So the amount that you see here is a cumulative. All right. It's a cumulative amount. So if you hit 500, then you get how much? $50, right? The difference between 100 and $50. But total accrual, how much have you earned? $100, right? Now, let's say you continue to grow and then you got a structure volume or network volume of 10,000. If you are bronze, you are not qualified yet for that 200, okay? Which is the $100, right? You are not qualified unless you rank up to become a silver. I hope this is clear, all right? So this is how the system works, okay? So take advantage of the cashback, take advantage of the 10% commission, especially if you are a builder, right? If you are a networker, this is a massive income that you can enjoy, and it is a residual income, okay? Especially the 10% cashback, all right? Okay, great. Now, let me make things easier for you guys. Let me just summarize the 4 ways how you can earn from ARBCore, right? So as I mentioned to you, you have the passive income and you have the active income. So the passive income, we have the arbitrage trading, all right? So this is where you earn, fully automated, effortless income, okay, from the arbitrage trading itself. And if you check the back office, as I mentioned to you, right, under the profitability, you will be able to find for each of the asset, okay, for each of the asset, what is the indicative income from the UP program and also the Pro program. Okay, so this will be giving you, clarity, right? How fast you can earn and so on. So you just need to take the 250% and divide by these percentages. Then you will roughly know what is the lead time of you recovering your 250%. Okay, so just take note. Now, on the active income, as I mentioned to you, we have 3 income. So we got a 5% direct bonus. So example, if someone deposit $100,000, you enjoy $50. That is one off, okay? Now, next, we have the 10% network commission. This is from your network profit. Now, please, okay, read the statement clearly, guys. It's network profit. That means it comes from the arbitrage trading of that network volume in your structure. No trading, no income. Less trading, less income. Please understand that. Because the heartbeat of the company is real arbitrage trading, not investors deposit and then pay the old investor. No. It doesn't work in that way, right? It is based on real because investors deposit goes to the exchange. It is deployed into the pool immediately to execute and to create the profit, right? To generate the profit, and that profit will be used then to pay for all these expenses and so on. Okay, so please understand. So now, example, right? For the network commission, let's say you are building your team and you have a total network of 100,000, right? Now, if arbitrage profit average daily, right? Let's say, right? The company is generating a profit of 1.2%, that will be 1,200. Now, can you imagine, guys, you are going to earn 10% of the 1,200, which is $120 daily. Isn't that insane? How much is it in 30 days? And while you are earning the $120, your volume is continuously growing. 100,000, 150,000, 200,000, and as the volume begin to grow, you know what happens to your network commission? Your network commission also grows, right? Now, please understand, as your network commission begin to grow, don't forget to rank up, okay, in order to enjoy those commission, okay? Or else you need to continuously unlock the level, all right? So unlock the level, keep unlocking until you max out on the 21 level, okay? So that's how it works, okay? Now, another income is the 2% cashback from your network volume. So example, if the total network value volume is 100,000, 2% will be 2,000. Okay, so you can refer to the cashback schedule that is available in your back office, okay, for the detail of all this cashback, okay? So please, okay, be reminded that for the 10% commission and the 2% cashback, all right, in order to be eligible, you have to rank up, all right, or else you won't be eligible. So let's say now, right, you come in and you have, you already have the volume, right, in your structure, but you are not a bronze. So if you are not a bronze, you're not going to enjoy that 10% commission or even the cashback. So until you become a bronze, then you will start to claim, those incomes. Okay, so I hope this is clear. All right. Okay, now, as I mentioned to you, right, we do have the ARBCore, which is just actually recently introduced. All right, and this is for the premium VIP partners who has a bigger capital. Now, let me just quickly, okay, give you a recap what is ARBCore, how it works, and so on, right? ARBCore, okay, ARBCore, remember that. Now, ARBCore are for users whose individual asset balance is 100,000 USDT or equivalent amount. So this section will be automatically activated. So the moment, right? So you can be even an existing member. If you keep topping up, all right, if you top up your contract, at one point, let's say your contract, there is 100,000 or equivalent, right? So what happened? You will automatically be upgraded into the ARBCore. So that is for the existing user. Now, sometimes you may even do an auto withdrawal, right? Auto compounding. Even the auto compounding is considered as your top up, okay, because your balance amount is growing, right? Or if you are new and you are an investor, you have a big $100,000 and you straight away come in, then you become immediately, you are in the ARBCore, right? So you have the table here, right? You can see the detail of the minimum deposit requirement for the 6 assets. All right, so do take note because this is the amount that is needed if you want to be part of the ARBCore program. If you don't have this minimum deposit, then you stay with the ARB standard program, right? The ARB standard. So the ARB standard, the ARBCore, the return can be different. Now, please understand that this fund do not participate in the auto earn period, which help increase the profitability as only a 10% fee is actually charged to cover the marketing program. Now, for this reason, the expected return rate is estimated to be probably 1.5 to 2 times higher than in the main arbitration program. All right. So, and in this manner, it accelerates the 250% contract obligation. So this is important for you to understand because, right, if I show you an illustration here, if you are in the standard arbitration, let's say, right, in Bitcoin, if you are earning an average of 3% daily, the 250% will take you around 83 days. All right, 83 days, right? About 2 to 3 months. Okay. But if you are in ARBCore and you are earning 5% daily, it will take you about 50 days to realize your 250% ROI. So the ARBCore actually speed up your rate of return. Okay, so the higher your capital is, you can be part of the ARBCore, you can actually earn your 250% capital plus your net profit in 50 days. Isn't that awesome? All right. So you decide, okay? You decide as an investor which of the program that you want to be part of. All right. If you don't have certain amount, don't worry, guys, please, okay? Don't push yourself. Make sure the first thing you do is to lock in your position. $50 minimum. All right. $50, lock in your position. Think about the topping up later, right? Lock your position because it is a matrix, right? 2x2 matrix. Once you lock in, you may enjoy the spillover. If you don't lock in and you come in later, you might be at the bottom of the matrix. All right. And remember, we are just about 3 months. More and more people are coming on board. More and more people are going to take the spot. So make sure, right? Secure your spot as soon as possible. Okay. Reach out to your upline. Okay. Secure your spot as soon as possible. Okay. The heartbeat of ARBCore is arbitrage trading. All right. It's arbitrage trading. So the heartbeat is the central source of income generation for the company. All right. So everything that you see around you, right? The 5%, the 10%, the 2% is all actually interlinked with the heart of the company, which is the arbitrage trading. So this is important. That is the reason why the company has to ensure the performance of the heart. All right. So there are KPIs, there are development plan in place to make sure the performance is maintained. All right. And to make sure the health of the heart, the security of the heart. Why? So this is where as more and more deposit comes in, what happened to the heart? The heart starts to pump the blood. Okay, and when that blood is pumped, all the organ of the body is healthy, right? Because as the blood continuously to flow, what happens to the organ? What happens to the 5%? What happened to the 10%? What happened to the 2%, right? Everything will be healthy because the heartbeat is the central source, okay, of the income, right? So please understand. So if the arbitrage trading does not perform well, what happened to your 10% network commission? Also reduced. Can you see that? So that's how everything works over here, right? So ARBCore survives on real arbitrage profit. And please understand that the architecture is built for long-term stability and sustainability. All right. So this is where, as the company began to maintain the heartbeat, begin to ensure that the arbitrage is delivering, 250% faster and faster. What happens to the company? The company retain the capital, right? As they retain the capital, now they can deploy that 50% deposit. And what happened? They can scale up, right? They can have more deposit because they have more capital. They can now start to, deploy more deposit. They can increase the number of pools, the number of exchanges, and they can increase the number of assets and so on. So in this manner, the company becomes sustainable. All right. So I hope you get me. Okay. I hope this is clear now. All right. So what are ARBCore revenue generation model? Just to summarize, as I mentioned to you, capital retention is the most important, okay, over here. So that is the reason why the company is delivering the 250% soonest possible. And also the next is the auto earn. All right. So as I mentioned to you, the first from that 24 hours, the first 14 hours, 100% of the profit goes to the partner. The remaining 10 hours, 100% of the profit goes to the company. All right. So this is what we call a profit sharing model. All right. And this is important because from the auto earn, it actually pays the operation, the marketing compensation, and so on. Now can you see how the company can become sustainable? And this is a brilliant business model that we have never seen in any company. Some people, they have spillover, they are not ranking up, they are not doing anything about it. So what happened to all this, potential cost to the company, right? All this amount actually goes back to the company, okay? So these are the important note, guys. Unlike many programs that overpromise and delay payout obligation, ARBCore implement a disciplined and structured approach to fulfilling its 250% obligation in the shortest feasible time frame. This enables efficient capital retention for ongoing growth and expansion, supporting long-term sustainability. Now, this performance is driven by ARBCore exclusive reliance on proven real arbitrage trading strategy, right? Isn't that true, guys? While many companies try to delay and make it longer and longer, and then they lump sum all the network income into your main income and asking you to keep renew your contract, ARBCore takes a opposite approach altogether. All right, this is a dream company everyone want to be part, right? And today you don't need to be dreaming because the real company is here. All right, with a real arbitrage, with a real result, so that you can become a real winner. All right. Okay. Now, guys, I know you guys are excited, right? So I would like to offer you and invite you to join us. All right, take a 30 days worry-free journey with us. All right. Even if you say, I still don't understand, is this true? Don't worry, guys. Come in, okay? Take a 30 days worry-free, put a $50, lock your spot first, okay? Why? Because after the 30 days, you can click the terminate contract and you can take back 100% of your capital back. All right? So the client has the right after 30 days to terminate the trading contract and withdraw the remaining asset according to the contract term. So that means you lose nothing, right? You lose nothing. But what happens if you suddenly see the spillover? All right, then you're going to get excited. Okay, so that's the reason why at the Winning Team Global, all right, we offer you and we invite you to be part of us. Come and experience. Okay, come and experience this extraordinary company. Come and take a 30 days worry-free journey. All right, experiment it yourself. Do your own study within these 30 days. If you're happy, top up and let's work together and continue work and build this company. And if you are not happy, don't worry, terminate your contract. Okay, click terminate in your back office. That is it. You receive the remaining amount after deducting whatever amount that is being paid. You can walk away free. You lose nothing. You only risk your 30 days. All right. I hope that is clear. All right. So I just want to share with you the ARBCore result, because at the moment my account is also under the ARBCore for the Bitcoin. But what I want to do next month onward, I'm going to monitor the result for the other, the other assets, both the the ARB standard and also the ARBCore. So we will share with you, more results, okay, from next month onwards. So this is the 5 days result since I activated or enabled the ARBCore. So you can see the average is close to 5%, guys. Now, can you just imagine in 5 days, I have already made 24.8% of Bitcoin. All right, 24.8%. While everyone else is waiting for 2 months to make this money, we have already made it through the ARBCore. All right, so this is the power of ARBCore, because your income is actually almost double, right? Almost double. Okay, but remember, as I mentioned to you, ARBCore, the capital requirement is much bigger, 100,000 or more equivalent. Okay, so please take note of that. So I hope you can see the real result here, and we will be sharing more of this result as we move on. Okay, so just take note of that. So also please understand, this is the meeting resources. So we have every Monday our business preview. So please make sure, like what we are doing today, so bring your team, all right, bring them on board so that they can understand how the program works. So let me do the talking, guys. Let me do the marketing, all right? Let me do and make sure I do all the sales. And don't forget, okay, your job is to close the sales, okay? Close the sales. Make sure that they are part, and make sure they take the spot the soonest possible. And also on the 2nd week and the 4th week of every month, same time, 8 p.m. Singapore time, we have a technical empowerment session. So this is where you'll be learning about the technicality of the back office, some of those features and so on, okay? So all these technical master class videos are already there in the Resource Hub. So if you are new, all right, please make sure, okay, check the Resource Hub and make sure you have those information, okay? All right, so with that, I would like to say thank you so much. I hope that, this full-scale comprehensive presentation has been helpful. It answers a lot of your concerns, a lot of your questions. All right, reach out to the person who brought you or introduced you.